on!
Well, what can I say? It's been great knowing you, SpongeBob. Good luck somewhere else. I'm gonna miss you. Boo-hoo! Ho-ho! Boo-hoo!
Squid's taking it real hard.
If you don't remember, I used both these clips when Eakins was fired and again when Brown was fired. And honestly, I think I'm even happier about Cronin being fired than I was about either of them. Also, they couldn't even use a photo of him or, a thank you coach. That's crazy. In my Eakins fired video, I was able to talk about his character and commitment to the community. He genuinely seemed to care. He just wasn't a good coach. I can't say the same thing for Cronin.
Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate.
He never seemed involved, he wasn't into community events, and just based on rumors, confirmed reports, and his own interviews,
I really don't have anything to say.
he doesn't even seem like a guy who connected with his own team. Look at this photo from practice when Gibson was given something for his 500th game. Where is Cronin? He's not even on the ice? Turns out he still was on the ice, but when the team included other coaches, not him, that's weird. You could argue maybe he doesn't like photos, and I get that, I hate pictures too, but the vibe, it's very telling that the players didn't want him in the picture. I was honestly getting worried it wasn't going to happen. Verbeek fired Eakins the day after the season ended, but the Ducks were at home when that season ended, so I gave him an extra day this time, and then it still didn't happen. But today is the day. The sun is shining, my season tickets are saved. Thank you, Verbeek. My voice is hurting today, but I knew you would all riot if I wasn't in this video, so I'm going to send it to Sean to finish it up.
Wow, I didn't think this day was going to come so soon. After 2 seasons with a record of 62, 87, and 15, the Ducks announced this morning Cronin will not return for next season. Per TSN LeBrun, Cronin still had 1 year remaining on his contract. This isn't like the Eakins situation where they just decided to pick up an option. Verbeek made a choice. He evaluated the situation and decided Cronin wasn't the guy to take this team to contender status. He saw through the 21-point improvement this season. 5-on-5 play was still bad, special teams was a mess, to put it lightly, and the usage of the kids was questionable most of the year. It would have been easy to stand pat, but he didn't, and he deserves credit for that. That also kind of means Verbeek is admitting Cronin wasn't the right hire in the first place. Or maybe he sees it as Cronin was just laying the foundation for what's next. Look, let's be fair. Cronin came into a rough situation. He inherited a team coming off the worst season in franchise history and improved them by just 1 point in year 1. But the general fan consensus was that the team felt better. This year they jumped 21 points from 59 to 80, but still missed the playoffs for the 7th straight year. Now that wasn't the expectation, but Cronin was brought in to instill structure, accountability, and a stronger defensive mindset. The results? Mixed at best. Now yes, there was individual development, especially among the young core, but team metrics, they stayed near the bottom of the league. The Ducks finished 30th in goals per game, dead last in power play efficiency, 23rd in goals against, and 29th in the penalty kill. Despite those numbers, the team reached 80 points for the first time since 2018. Why? Goaltending. By advanced metrics, Gibby and Dosti were one of the best tandems in the league. They combined for the 3rd most goals saved above expected. But when looking at the defensive analytics, it painted a much uglier picture. The Ducks ranked last in expected goals against per game at 5-on-5 and 30th in expected goals share overall per natural stat trick. Even with the offensive bump in the second half, defensive holes and special teams were issues all year. However, where the team struggled, the kids thrived. McTavish, Carlson, Cutter, and Lacombe were the Ducks' top 4 scorers in the second half. McTavish led the team in goals. Cutter rebounded from a slow start and was electric down the stretch. Lacombe scored more goals than any Ducks defenseman in over a decade. Cronin's lineup choices drew criticism all season. He leaned too heavily on veterans, and guys like Zellweger and Mintyukov were in and out of the lineup for safer options like Hellison. Players were not being put in positions to succeed. Still, the youth movement sparked an offensive turnaround. In the final 22 games, the Ducks ranked 7th in the NHL in goals per game. They thrived in transition and looked dangerous in open ice, even though that's not how Crow said he wanted them to play. The Ducks were competitive in spurts and did meet their internal goal of playing meaningful games late into the season, even if they played terribly in most of them. Heading into March, Anaheim was 6 points out of a playoff spot with 24 games left, but they went 6-9 for that month and were officially eliminated on April 3rd. There were also whispers, and sometimes a lot louder than whispers, of locker room discontent both this season and last. And for a coach who was supposed to be a teacher and disciplinarian, Cronin's tenure was a mixed bag of promise and shortcomings. Now, with Cronin out, Verbeek has to find the coach who can turn individual growth into team-wide success, and finally guide the Ducks back to the playoffs. For a roster loaded with young talent, the next hire is going to shape this franchise's direction. And hey, the buck doesn't stop there. When a new coach is hired, he better bring in new assistants too. It wouldn't be fair to saddle him with someone else's staff, especially when it's Clune and Thompson. They have to go. As for who's the next coach, you'll have to tune in next time for another video. Thank you to our members. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks! See you later, Cronin.
He's gone!